Hello, everybody, and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. But today's Six Nations team of the tournament, right? I want people in the comments. I want controversial decisions. I want people picking the team apart. I want you guys giving your own team because obviously this is just what we or I see, and I've got a bit of input from some of the guys in across the team and stuff like that. But obviously, you're never going to be able to create an objective team of the tournament, and some people obviously from different places different fan bases might sort of back certain players over others. So this is going to be a fun exercise, and I really enjoy doing these because it creates a lot of debate. So I'm going to give you my team of the tournament, or our team of the tournament, and then I'd like to let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I say give us your opinions. Let us know if you agree, if you don't agree, where you would make change and stuff like that. But this is what I've got. But before I show you, do smash like on the video, do subscribe to the channel as well. Those are the important things. This is what I've got. And as I said, it took me a long time to get this. I've I've put in players and taken them out. And this is where I've ended up. So what have we got? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 Irish players. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 French players. And I think we've got 3 Scotland players. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 Scotland players. So it all come from the top 3. And I think that's pretty fair, to be fair. I don't think there are too many English players or Welsh players who are just heads and shoulders above everybody so much they deserve, even the Italian players as well. But there are some very sort of good bubbling under candidates. So let's go through it, shall we? Right, loose head prop. I've gone with Andrew Porter. I thought that he really kind of took responsibility. With Ty Furlong not being played throughout the tournament, a couple of injury issues. Andrew Porter, I thought, was immense. I must admit, very stiff competition from the likes of a Silva, as well as for me, Piers Schoolman, for me, probably almost gets improvement of the tournament, most improved player. I thought Piers Schoolman has really, really looked at home all of a sudden in a test jersey. His work rate is relentless. So I could have very gone with Piers Schoolman. It was very much a bit of flick of the coin there. But I'll go with Andrew Porter. Let me know what you think. Dan Sheehan for me was probably the leading hooker. I don't think there's too much debate around that. I think that Julian Marchand had some very good games, but wasn't quite, the superstar that I think he is. And Dan Sheehan, who's sort of taken to international rugby like a duck to water, continues to look really good. Tight was quite a difficult one. I thought Simone Ferrari for Italy really stood up. I thought I was very impressed by what he got through. I thought you've got to go with Finley Bealham for me. And the reason I was so impressed with him is that when Ty Furlong went down, he stepped in. And I'm not even a massive Finley Bealham fan. I've always think he's all right, but I thought that this Six Nations, I was actually very impressed with him. I thought that he actually looked like I wouldn't say a like for like replacement because I think Ty Furlong is one of the top 2, 3 best tighters in the world, but looked very comfortable there. We're going to the second row to Belflemen. What a player, by the way. An absolutely brilliant player to watch. 25 years old. He's really coming to his own. I think that he could be one of the really big, players to watch in the World Cup this year. I think that he's been incredibly exciting. He's still very young in his international career. He's played, I think, 16 games, making his debut 2 years ago. But just whatever he touches turns to gold. And I've gone with James Ryan next to him, a bit of the opposite, just the relentless work rate, the leadership as well. Led Ireland across a couple of the games, but I think that he's just Mr. Consistency at the end of the day. I think that. Yeah, I think the English locks also struggled a lot. I don't think Maury Toja had his best tournament. I think if you look at, for example, Scotland, I think they are missing a couple of decent locks. I thought the Italian locks were stepping up in Niccolo Cannone and Federico Razza, but I don't think any of them were really as consistent as both Flamand and James Ryan. The loose trio is always hard to pick, isn't it? And there's some big players missing here. Shout out Francois Croce, who was very good. Shout out Gregory Aldred, who grew into the tournament. Shout out Lorenzo Cannone, who I think is a world-class player. Sebastian Negri got through an unreal amount of work. Jack Dempsey had some very good games. Jamie Ritchie, I thought, had a pretty solid tournament. Talapa Fatai actually has looked really good in the last couple of games as well. So those are all players who I thought could very easily have been in and around you. I've gone with Charles Oliver, Josh van der Fleer, and Caelan Doris. And that's just maybe a personal preference. I just think of those three, for me, impressed me the most. Josh van der Fleer, there's not much more you can say about him. World Player of the Year for good reason. For very, very good reason. And Charles Olivan, I just think that I think he's bulked up a bit, getting through a relentless amount of work, and I think that he adds a lot to that French pack. And I think they miss him a lot when he's not playing. And just Mr. Consistency, plays week in, week out. and a proper player. And then on Caleb Doris, again, I thought Lorenzo Canoni was very good. Faletau was very good. Gregory Eldred had, that half he had against England in the first half of that game was absolutely sensational. Jack Dempsey had a man of the match performance this past weekend. So I thought there were some good number 8 performances, but I think that Caleb Doris for me continues to be the most successful. He also played around the scrum as well during the Six Nations. Anton DuPont, probably the easiest pick to make, and that's first of all, he's just the best player in the world at the moment. I know Josh van der Vliet holds the title, but DuPont was just tremendous. That England game, he's brought everything back, and people sitting there just saying he's not human, and I agree. He's just so good at the moment. And part of them, Finn Russell, which maybe is a bit controversial. Some people saying Johnny Sexton should have jumped in there. Some people even saying Romain Intermac. I thought Intermac grew into the tournament. I thought towards the last couple of games we saw the Intermac that we really like. I thought obviously Johnny Sexton, when he does play, is always world class. But I thought Finn Russell was playing on a different level. I thought that every single time when Scotland were looking like a team that could beat anyone, it was because he was ticking. And I think that if he can play like that at the World Cup, I think Scotland become a real force. The two wings were quite difficult. I've gone with James Lowe in the 11 jersey, but I've gone with Damien Pinner in the 14. And that sounds very harsh on Mac Hansen. But how do you leave the leading try scorer in the tournament, out? And maybe Mac Hansen does more from all-round perspective, but Pinner is just such a good finisher. He runs and tries. He gets a lot of hard work. And I think that he's a very important cog in that French backline. The centre pairing, I've gone with Hupolotto, maybe even more as a combination than the two individual players. Tupolotto has been a revelation for Scotland. It's almost hard to remember or to think of and imagine Scotland without him. He's become so important, already vice captain of the side. Hugh Jones, the revelation for me of the Six Nations, just playing a different level. And those two together have been brilliant. I thought Jonathan Dante, if he played maybe the entire Six Nations, probably could have gotten in there potentially. I thought Jean Ignacio Brix had a very good tournament for Italy. I'm very impressed with him. Gael Fika can count himself very unlucky not to be in there. I mean, that man, a little bit like Kanye Arm, just drops 7, 8, 9 out of 10s every week. So he probably deserves to be there, maybe even should be in there. But I really enjoyed that combination, especially with Finn Russell as an axis. And I've really enjoyed that. Thomas Ramos edges out Hugo Keenan. Some people are saying Freddie Stewart is in for a shot. I don't really think so. I think Thomas Ramos. I've watched a decent amount of Thomas Ramos. I have not seen him play the rugby he's playing at the moment before. It's a whole different level, and it's been so interesting to watch. Because I think some people, and some pundits even, I think maybe that shows you how little sometimes pundits watch, is that he kicks well, but that's it. No. This season, we saw him, first of all, kick absolutely flawlessly off the tee. And having a world-class goal kicker is a big thing. But for me, it was, on the attack, for example, he's cutting open defenses. He was bringing players in, and I thought that he had a phenomenal tournament. So that's what I've gone with. Let me know which changes you would make. I've mentioned a lot of players who I think could very well easily have been in this team. And obviously, you can make 2 or 3 of these different teams. But I want you to let me know what you think in the comments below. Please smash like in the video as well, and subscribe to the channel. And I'll chat to you guys all very soon.